From the dark they came, and found the souls of lords within the flames. These lords banded together to kill the everlasting dragons, and usher in the age of fire, and with it the accursed undead, branded with the dark sign. We awoke in an undead asylum branded with this dark sign, but with the help of a mysterious knight, we were able to kill the asylum demon and escape. A mysterious raven swooped us up and took us to the land of Lordran, where we learned more about our fate. Alright, so today we're checking out Firelink Shrine, the place where the raven dropped us off at. You can see it's kind of this ruined, crumbled sort of shrine area. You can see that raven up there too, the guy that dropped us off presumably. Him lingering up there kind of gives you the sense that maybe we can go back. So we already had some hints dropped that we could be returning to the Undead Asylum. So, we got this dude in chainmail over here. I'll go see what he has to say.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So with that dialogue, we see a few things. First of all, he's kind of making it sound like this isn't the first time he's seen the quote-unquote chosen undead. It sounds like a lot of undead have come here, like the bird has dropped off a lot of undead. So it kind of makes you start feeling like we're less special, that we're not this this heroic being come to, different from the undead, come to save the land. He's kind of like, another one, like, good luck. He also mentions that the tale that we heard from the knight that gave us the Estus flask, where he talked about how if we ring the bell of awakening, we will know the fate of the chosen undead. And this guy here says, actually, there's 2 bells, so it's as if he already knows this tale. It's like an ageless tale, but he said, there's actually 2. And we learn about 2 areas. We learn about the top of the church, I think he said, and then Blight Town. So we're learning a little bit about Blight Town. Kind of ominous stuff. Let's see what else he has to say.
Your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
So here we start learning a little bit about humanity. You could see, our guy here is looking really undead. It's got that kind of weathered skin, looks like, zombie-esque. And he's basically telling us that the different ways that we can get humanity by killing a healthy undead or getting yourself summoned by someone, we can actually turn human again. And we'll learn more about that in a second.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
Start getting some shady tones from this guy. He said something to the effect of, I would never kill a healthy undead. You kind of get the sense that, he has killed before. And he's also saying, hey, back off, man. Don't come close to me or you'll regret it.
What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the Undead Burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the Undead Burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
So there's another confirmation that he is undead like us, even though he doesn't have that undead-looking form. So you could tell that he has regained his humanity, if only temporarily. And he's also giving us hints now as to our next location, which he said we have to access the undead church through the Undead Burg, through the waterway, which we can kind of see right there. It looks like the shape of an aqueduct. Normally there's a lift over here that he had mentioned, but it's broken, and what we will do eventually is activate that as a shortcut back to Firelink Shrine.
Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions. What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
Okay, so we've exhausted his dialogue. It's always good to exhaust people's dialogues, especially at different points in the game, because not only will they give you different information about the world or other NPCs, but they may actually also give you items. So we'll be talking a lot to these guys to learn about the lore and see if they can give us anything. So for now, let's check out Firelink Shrine. Let's start getting these few treasures before we do end up heading through the aqueduct. Let's go see what's around. And here we got this guy hanging over a well, and on him he has 3 humanity sprites, like we saw the humanity sprite that the asylum demon dropped for us. So I'm gonna look at that one more time. Used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. So if we use one of these, it'll restore a lot of our hit points, and then you'll see in the upper left hand corner that we will gain 1 humanity. This will have various effects, one of which boosting our item discovery, but there are also like weapons later in the game that will have scaling bonuses depending on how much humanity you have. It'll also allow you to reverse your hollowing status at a bonfire. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You can become human again. When you're human, you can be invaded by NPCs, and you'll see that sometimes phantoms will invade your world. This can be a bad thing in the sense that if they invade you while you're fighting other creatures, it can be really difficult to beat them, but if you beat them, you can get a lot of souls and a lot of good items, so we want to do that. We're not playing online, but if you were online, you can also be invaded by other human characters, and I find that to be a really interesting aspect of this game, because as you're going along, you can get messages from other people, you can co-op with other people to help beat bosses, but likewise, if you're human, you can also be invaded by those people. So now you see in the upper left hand, the humanity counter is white, showing that we're human, and then you can also just see our skin is now, it's not that beef jerky looking undead style, we actually look human again. To kindle, we have to sacrifice a humanity to the bonfire, and if we kindle a bonfire, it will give us, instead of having 5 Estus flasks, we'll have 10. This Firelink Shrine bonfire is already kindled, so you can see now, since we rested at it, we have 10 Estus flasks. As we traverse the world, like the message said when we first dropped in Firelink Shrine, we can continue to kindle other bonfires. So let's go check out, see if we can find some more treasures here. Kind of see it's just at one point may have been a full-on shrine, but now it's just in ruins for whatever reason. Take note too that a lot of the treasures we are finding are just on corpses. Get some more fire bombs here. Those will be good against certain enemies later on. You can use them to pull guys, or if there are bosses that are maybe weak against fire, then we can use it on them too. tip showing us how to gesture. We'll pick up different gestures throughout the game. Useful when you're communicating with PvP people or co-op. So, we got a guy over here just chilling by himself in this ruined room of the cathedral, or of the shrine, excuse me. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
The hell, man? Just trying to be friends.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Copper coin.
My. You again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Sure. We haven't really figured out what miracles are yet at this point in the game, so game on, bro.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
It's pretty vague at this point what a covenant is, but a lot of it has to do with PvP. You can earn rewards by doing different tasks to earn covenant items. In this game, it's really vague, like I said, but we want to learn miracles, so yeah, why not, Petrus? Let's do this.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Okay, so we can purchase items. We already entered the covenant, so this is only here if you want to rejoin this covenant later after maybe joining another one. We can talk to him some more. We can learn a gesture. We'll see what that is. Shrug gesture. Interesting. This guy seems somewhat pessimistic. He's teaching us miracles and saying, oh, you know, keep your distance. I don't mean it in ill will, but back off, dude. And then he's teaching us to shrug. So he seems nice, but there's also something kind of shady about him. See what else he's got to say.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
Okay, so he's awaiting this lady that's going to meet him here. And he says we, so that, you know, presumably there are other bodyguards like him. But why is he here? Like, where is everyone else? Why'd he get here first?
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
So here we can learn a little more dialogue if we give him some souls. It's not completely necessary, especially if you've already completed the game and you already know what's going on, but it's only 400. Sure, why not? Let's see what he has to say.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
So here he basically tells us part of our mission is to kindle the bonfires. So we don't know why. We know that's part of our mission, including, you know, ringing the bells. But again, very vague. But we know that it helps us gameplay-wise and getting more Estus, so can't hurt in doing it, right?
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to see. Kindling is the art of...
Okay, so he just keeps telling us the same thing. He sells various miracles, which are basically faith-based spells, like, for instance, heal. We need certain faith stats to use these, like, for instance, heal, we need 12 faith. And you can see those are quite expensive, 4,000. Homeward teleports you back to the last bonfire rest. So that's 8,000. Great heal is 10,000. So you can tell at this point in the game when, we got 2,000 souls for killing the Asylum Demon. Bosses generally give you a lot of souls, so if we're killing bosses and we barely have enough to buy weak miracles, this is something that's going to be more affordable to us later. So I'll read the lore on these a little bit later since we can't do them. He also sells these talismans, which are basically you have to equip these and use these in order to cast the spell. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. Standard talisman issued to common believers. This talisman is only granted to high-rank Thorland clerics, has high miracle adjustment which, thanks to divine protection, is not dependent upon faith. So this talisman is a little bit better. You don't need as much faith scaling. So you can see that the talismans are associated with clerics and with the Thorland. I don't know, Petrus. You seem a little shady.
The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
I mean, anyone with that kind of haircut right there, I don't trust him. I don't trust you, man. So let's explore a little bit more. Go up these stairs. So this little area is where the elevator will be activated to the Undead Church once we get it. Once again, not activated right now, but you can see if you look down there, you can see ground. You can see floor. Now, if there was nothing down there, why would they have it there? We would just get stuck and we would have to, somehow get out of there. So you kind of get the feeling if there's ground down there, then there's possibly something down there. See this corpse, some more souls to accumulate. Those will help us out later. Maybe level up a little bit before we start our venture up to the Undead Burg. So you see there was a little passageway down here. Again, just by looking around the environment, we see, ground down there we can drop to. Maybe there's something there. Sure enough, our exploration is rewarded. So come down to this little, just kind of a little hideaway, and you see all these treasure chests. Woohoo, treasure! Interesting, like I said before, that most of the treasures that we've come across so far have been on these corpses lying around. But for some reason, these are all these items are stashed in treasure chests. So it kind of gives you the sense that, a little hidden area, treasure chest, like this seems like a hideaway stash of sorts. So let's see what we got in here. Homeward bone. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to the last bonfire used for resting. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. So there we can see that the bonfires are in fact fueled by bones of the undead. Here we have a Morning Star weapon and a talisman, which, if you remember right, Petrus was holding a Morning Star, the spiked mace-looking thing, and a talisman, which we have just found are associated with clerics. So this, in essence, kind of makes it look like a cleric's stash, which Petrus is right up there. Seems like maybe this is his stash. Oh, we also didn't read the copper coin that he gave us. Copper coin of Old Man McLoif. Its face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. So Petrus was carrying this around, so he knows it didn't have any value here in Lordran. And it also shows that people fond of carrying these are wanting to return. They're dreaming of returning to the outside world. So it's kind of like he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't care about this coin, but he gives it to us saying, oh, here, a gesture of good faith, when you realize, well, this has no value to you. So just another, it just kind of makes him look shady again. Check out this Morning Star hammer with sharp spike on its pommel, one of the more barbaric cleric weapons. So that's another thing. It's a cleric weapon, but kind of barbaric. Uniquely, this hammer inflicts thrust damage and causes bleeding. So If you look down here on the auxiliary effects, you can see that they have bleeding and poison and divine and cult effects. So that 300 right there that you see, it shows bleeding. So as you hit guys, it will build up an invisible bleed meter, and if it fills all the way, they will take an increased amount of damage. So pretty good. If you two-hand the Morning Star, you can also break guards of shields. So this thing can really inflict a lot of damage, especially to bosses. So that's going to be a weapon we're going to use a little bit later. And then we also see the Talisman, which we read earlier. So this looks to be like Shady McPetrus's stash, and we'll see more about this here too. Cracked Red Eye Orb. Online play item, invade another world. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire humanity. The cracked Red Eye Orb allows players to temporarily imitate this ability normally limited to the dark race of Cath. So this is the first we hear about the dark race, and we'll see a lot about them later on in the game. But you kind of get the sense that, oh, okay, you can use this item to invade other people's worlds and steal their humanity. I mean, if this is indeed Petrus' stash, he is a shady motherfucker, and we can't really trust him. But for the meantime, we'll steal his treasure, sure. Lloyd's Talisman. Take a look at that. Talisman utilized by Allfather Lloyd's Cleric Knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery in a limited area. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's Cleric Knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So this talisman is used by clerics to hunt undead. This is kind of like the final, okay, if you haven't figured it out, Petrus is not a friend of the undead. He said he can't help us on our undead journey. He's got all these shady items, like he's just not a helpful fellow. So this area, there's a bunch of skeletons. I'm just going to run away for now, this graveyard area. You can run through there and grab some treasures, which we'll do later, but for now, I don't think any of them are completely 100% necessary. So we'll just hit it back when we go to the catacombs, which are beyond that area. Get this soul up here at the top of this shrine. See the skeletons are chasing me. I'll just go back to the bonfire to reset so we don't have to worry about them. You can beat them right now, but I'm just not going to worry about it. I don't want to waste time. So yeah, so this guy seems a little bit shady. Giving us some good information, but shady. Petrus, he's going to teach us miracles, and he's giving us rusted coins, but he seems super shady, so you kind of get the feeling that these people are a little bit deceitful. See this kind of watery shrine area. We just got the item up above. There's an open treasure chest, it looks like, so someone's been here. We see this statue of a lady holding her child. So again, this will lead back to the graveyard area, and we'll come back to that later. You can rush through. There's a good sword called the Zweihander there that I really like to use. It's probably a fan favorite of a lot of people, but it's got a hefty strength stat requirement. We're not going to be there for a while, so we'll just wait for it. Get another consumable soul item. Alright. Again, you see that raven just chilling up there. Like, what is his deal? Why is he bringing supposedly chosen undead from the asylum here? You know, this guy over here is telling us, oh, another one. So this bird just keeps dropping him over here, you know, but why? Like, why does he keep taking him from the asylum and dropping him? So we'll find more about that later. So, all right, so I think we're ready to start making our way up to the Undead Burg through the aqueduct. Let's start killing some guys. I want to start talking a little more about the combat too. So we make our way up here, and you know, you got to be careful. These ledges don't have rails, so you can easily just come up here willy-nilly and fall off. You got to be careful. And you'll start seeing a few guys here. So I want to talk a little bit about two-handing and versus one-handing. So say I'm just fighting this one guy. I block his attack. So you see there, it takes me 2 R1 or weak fast attacks to kill him. If I use my strong attack, it doesn't quite kill him, so it also takes 2 strong attacks. So at this point I've learned, okay, regardless of whether I use my quick or my strong attack, it's taking me 2 swings to kill these guys. Got a hollow warrior helmet there. Check that guy out. Helm worn by hollow warriors. Although it is made of iron, it is old, battered, and worn out. It is wise to wear sturdy form of protection against arrows and other physical threats. Thanks. I think we'll just not wear that for now, though. You can see the weight on the side there says 2.6, so it's a little bit lighter, but it has a less defensive rating than our standard helm. So I think we'll just keep the standard helm we got for now. So, you know, the ultimate goal is to try to kill guys in as few hits as possible. You know, if you can kill a guy in 1 hit, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So, since it's taking me 2 hits on these guys while I'm one-handing my weapon, let's try two-handing. Difference now being I won't be able to use my shield, so I'm going to have to rely on rolling. So, run past this guy throwing fire at us. So, still takes 2 quick attacks with this, but maybe 1 strong attack will kill these guys. Sure enough, there you go. 1 strong attack, so that's a pretty effective method. Again, it kind of compromises some of our defense in that we're not using our shield. In this case, I don't think using the shield, I value using the shield, so I don't think two-handing and using strong attacks on everything is the way to go, especially because it's a pretty hefty stamina investment. You can see that takes a good chunk of my stamina, whereas 2 swings of this takes about the same amount, and I have the ability to use my shield, so I'm just going to use my shield for now. Especially guys like this, just makes them trivial. 3 hits on this guy, but still not a big deal. And you'll see they'll use Estus too, so you got to be somewhat aggressive. You can jump over to this little area. You'll see, again, looking around the environment, you can see that treasure over there, so jump mechanic's a little iffy, but we'll go ahead and do it. So once you get over here, you really want to hug this wall. They really want you to work for that treasure in this game. Ring of Sacrifice. Oops. This mythical ring was created in a sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. Its wearer loses nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. So we hear our first whispers of Velka, the goddess of sin. There will be more lore about Velka later on. So that ring basically, you know, if you got a lot of souls accumulated, maybe you've been through an area and you're about to fight a boss or something, you can wear that, and that way you know if it's your first time fighting the boss or something, that you're not going to lose any souls. Or if you're trying to make a stupid jump like this, you know you're not going to lose them, but I'll just try to make the jump. You know, for a starting area, these are pretty stunning environments. Like, you know, you can almost go everywhere that you see, and you know they're dense environments. Like they're very vertical, and they pack a lot into the room that they've used. Some more souls here. So now we're gonna head into the aqueduct. You can see a rat over there, kind of munching down on this corpse. Gathering more souls yet. So we see this door down here. Once again, like in the Undead Asylum, does not open. So you'll see a lot of locked doors that will eventually be shortcuts later on. Come out here, we enter the Undead Burg. Cool area. So basically we'll be fighting a lot of these hollows, getting used to the combat some more. I think this area is a big relief for some people too. Coming out of the Undead Asylum, you know, they fight this asylum demon. You know, it's kind of difficult for them the first time. They're like, what am I getting myself into? This game is so hard. But assuming you find your way here, you know, it's kind of a breath of relief. You're just fighting these hollow warriors. they're a little bit more difficult in the sense that they might come in packs, but you're starting to see like multiple areas, treasures, so it's kind of a relief to come to this area after the the quote-unquote stress of the undead asylum. So looking around, we see a ladder that comes up here around to that treasure. We're also seeing those hollows hanging off the ledge, looking to be trying to ambush us. It's not very nice, man. See this guy over here trying to throw fire bombs. Take him out. You look down, you see a tunnel. If you look down, you see a treasure here, and notice that these barrels are blocking kind of a secret entrance. So, again, just studying the environment, you can really see a lot. And you'll see some more guys over there in the corner hanging out trying to ambush us. So we know if we go down there, we'll probably get a small ambush. We see down here too another guy at this walkway. So if we take the secret entrance down here, there will be a guy over there looking to attack us. Plus we've got a couple guys down there. So something to look forward to. So before we go through this fog gate, we'll check that little area out, see what kind of treasures await. And I will level up at the next bonfire. I haven't really decided what kind of build I want to make this character, but it'll probably be something along the lines of a quality build, which is kind of like an even sort of stat allocation into strength and dexterity and other things. Not as much magic, but I want to be able to show you guys a lot of weapons, and even magic builds require a lot of weapons, so I think that might be the case, but we'll see. I may go strength too. I like playing strength a lot. I do like dex builds too, but it might be, like I said, more of a quality build. See some more souls. So now we have no choice but to drop down, and they still, even from this vantage point, you could still see that ambush coming, even though you can't see the guy there. So they give you ample opportunity to see these coming. So first we'll just try to go over here. Oh, that guy left. So we know there was a guy in that hallway, but we don't see him now, so maybe he's lingering somewhere. If you go this way, you can't see. Oh. How the hell did he get up there? Whatever. If you go this way, you can't see anything. Go this way, you can't see anything, but there's actually a door right here. So they do a good job of kind of painting the bricks right there. See how the texture changes, but they're painted right there. Really nice little detail so that when you run by to attack this guy, you don't see anything. And on your way back, you don't see anything. What's up, man? We've been waiting for you. Oh, I must have kept it online because this is an online message. So you can see that sometimes people will tell you like, hey, go over here. So come up here. See, these stairs are, at one point may have led to something, but they're blocked off now. So, maybe the architecture was changed at one point, maybe to keep hollows out or in, interesting little details. So now we'll come over here. Again, see those guys hanging, so we know what to expect. This ambush will actually start when you reach around the treasure area, so before you hit that treasure, you can knock those first couple off, but once you start knocking them off, the other two will come up, but much easier to do it that way. So it looks to be an area up there, but you cannot access that area, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and knock these guys off. Nice try, dude. Whoa. These guys can be aggressive. Don't underestimate them in packs like this, especially when they do their wild flailing slashes. You can easily die. Like they are not to be underestimated. Rubbish. Rubbish with no value. Who in their right mind would bother carrying this around? Perhaps you need help, and that is correct. We are a little insane, but we can. There's actually a bird nest in the undead asylum that I skipped. Oh, that was weird. I just got some souls. You'll encounter that sometimes. You'll just get souls, random enemies like popping into the wrong place or falling off ledges. But anyway, there's a bird nest in the Undead Asylum that you can trade items with, and it's kind of cumbersome. But some items like rubbish you can trade for some other interesting items. Here we get another humanity sprite. Looking down, you can kind of see, you don't see staircases, treasure anywhere over here, so these are probably just unused areas. But looking down there, you can see some message signs, meaning that we will eventually be able to probably go down there into the area which will be the Lower Undead Burg. So we'll go ahead and go back down here, and you can actually make this jump if you don't want to go through that area. You can actually just kind of go like that to get that humanity, but we wanted to go check out that roundabout, get the treasures and whatnot. So up here, this is one of the summon signs to summon online people. We'll probably be summoning some NPCs, but like I said, I wanted to play offline for the most part, just so we don't get any human invasions. So you can see this, what looks to be like a broken bridge up here, and because of that message sign, we can get up there. So just a matter of trying to get there. It looks like maybe we can get there through this room. See a treasure over here. Now this bridge is broken, so yeah, this door's open, but it'd be hard pressed to make that jump, so maybe there's another way. Maybe we can get on that roof, perhaps. So up these stairs, you see this gorgeous vista of Lordran. And this is great design. Oh wow, look at that. Just as you're taking in the view, this giant dragon swoops down. Now that's interesting because we saw in the intro cinematic that the lords, Gwyn and Nito, witches of Izalith, and then Seath the Scaleless, Seath betrayed the dragons so that he could he killed the dragons with the other lords. So now we're seeing that didn't look like Seath the Scaleless. That looked like some kind of red dragon. So we're now seeing that, foreshadowing that we might encounter that dragon later, but also we're saying there's still dragons in the world. There are still dragons lingering around, and why is that? What are they doing here? What does that have to do with anything? So, small detail, most people just go, whoa, a dragon, cool, but when you kind of think of in context of the lore they've given us so far, it's actually very interesting because you start realizing that perhaps they didn't eliminate all the dragons. Looking down some more, you can see an area down here with some hollows awaiting, and a ladder up there, which is the roof we were thinking maybe we could jump off of. So again, looking around at the environment, you can start putting pieces together of how you can get to different areas. So this little area is kind of a small gauntlet. You'll encounter a few of these hollows, and meanwhile there will be a crossbowman shooting arrows at you from up there, so you have to kind of avoid or block those. And then you also want to try to kill these guys. I generally try to just run past these guys and kill the guy shooting arrows, because it just makes your life a lot easier. Now you can just sort of take these guys on up here. Typical fare. Oh, why did you die, man? Now we're also seeing these guys throwing firebombs on us, so we're going to have to deal with that a little bit later. And I did just run past a little area over here where you see those two spear-wielding hollows are. We'll check that out in a second, but first of all, we've got this room over here with the bonfire. Hallelujah. It's always refreshing when you find one of these. Alright, so we're going to rest at this guy, and I think that'll end the episode. Next time we'll do some leveling up, maybe try out some different weapons, maybe equip that Morning Star that we found earlier and see how that does. And we'll dive a little more in depth into the Undead Burg and see what awaits, and possibly fight our next boss. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next episode. See you later.